I've done some tough challenges during my time on YouTube, but today, this may just be mission impossible. Today, I'm pulling off the ultimate heist by winning the Champions League without ever entering the Premier League. Here's the blueprint for our path to glory. Step 1, I have to win one of the domestic trophies. Winning the FA Cup will take us to the Europa League, winning the Carabao Cup to the Conference League. Step 2, once we're in Europe, we have to win. If we don't win, then we're reset back to step 1. Entering the Conference League means we have to win the Conference League, then the Europa League, then the Champions League in successive seasons. Step 3, to avoid promotion whilst also building a side good enough to compete for trophies, I will be building a tanking team. A team of incredibly low-rated players who can come in and absolutely bottle important games for us. Let Mission Impossible begin. So for this, I am taking over West Bromwich Albion. They're in the Championship, just missed out on promotion. Let's start building things out. Also for this, I've made Don Carlo Ancelotti the manager of West Brom because if anybody knows how to win Champions Leagues, it's this man right here. So we're going to make our first signing as West Brom manager. I'm throwing, there's no realism involved in this video. I'm just focused on getting the best team possible as quickly as possible. Maxime de Kuiper, the Belgian left back, his valuation goes up. He joins us here from Club Bruges. Need a bit of a clean out here though. Connor Townsend out of the club. And so is Matt Phillips. He's staying in the Championship though, heading to Coventry. And I mean, normally I don't want the Championship teams to be getting any better, but it kind of works in our favor if the Championship clubs get a little better because then we won't get promoted. We bagged ourselves a left back. Now we bag ourselves a right back. It is Nico Williams joining us from Nottingham Forest. 5.6 mil for him. Also, I should probably show you guys, I've got my default strongest possible starting 11 right here, but this is what our current tank squad is looking like. And there's work to be done there as well. Like having 70 rated players in there is not ideal, but you guys will see how that unfolds and how I use it to our advantage throughout the video. You know what? We're actually going to make our first signing for the tank squad right now. 16-year-old Stuart Hawkins from the Seattle Sounders is joining us for £210,000. 53 overall. Welcome to West Brom, mate. Darnell Furlong, the latest man to leave off to Celtic. We're going to bag ourselves another player here. It's for the starting 11, though. It's for the main team. Wamed Omari, the Frenchman, signing on from Stade Rennais. The rest of our efforts, though, in this opening window are going to be focused on building out the tank squad. Hugo Anderson Mella, Corson, I don't even know, Konietske, I'm going to say, and then Benjamin Arthur, all joining us here. But already we're getting put to the test here. We've got a Carabao Cup game against Millwall. I'm going to be watching all of these games, going to be flying through them, but hoping we can win at least one of them in the first few years. And we're still alive in the Carabao Cup. To be fair, I would rather us win the FA Cup so that if we do win it, we don't have to, we can skip over the Conference League, but at this moment, beggars can't be choosers. And the second that I win one of those cups and know that I'm going to be playing European football the next year, I'm going to be doing everything in my power to go all out to win that tournament. The window is still active, but we've got our second Carabao Cup game, first Premier League opposition against West Ham United, and we are out of the Carabao Cup already here in season 1. But that's the opening transfer window done. This is what our starting 11 currently looks like, and this is what the tanking team looks like. But our focus now turns to winning the FA Cup and not getting promoted in the Championship. 1st of January, we're sitting 12th. That is perfectly fine by me. I almost don't want us to get up into the playoffs. But if we do get in the playoffs, I'm bringing out the tank squad. We've got our first FA Cup game though. We enter in the 3rd round and we've got Burnley. Come on lads, first game in the FA Cup and we go out in the FA Cup already. All right, we just need to not get promoted here in season 1. We actually kind of had a really good second half of the year and narrowly missed out on the playoffs. 8 points away, but that's fine by me. I would love every year to finish 7th and miss out by 1 point so that we know that our side is still progressing. I would almost rather finish 3rd and just have to tank myself in the playoffs, to be honest. But a Championship side in this simulation won the FA Cup in season 1. Leicester City. And Man United won the Carabao. Josh Meyer had a great first year here though. We had some decent players do well all around. De Kuiper up to a 77, man. I just need to keep building out both sides. Give our team to the mid 80s and still be playing in the Championship. That's going to be the hardest thing down the line in my opinion. But we're going to have a mass clean out here at the end of season 1. Martin Kelly, Jan Villa, Michael Johnson, Kyle Bartley, and Eric Peters all leaving the club. We have got so many players returning from loan though, and you bet your all of them are going into the tank squad. Let's see if we can pull off some sort of Cinderella run in season 2. This is not a realistic transfer, but it makes so much sense. Manchester United are not in the championship. Kobe Mainu down the line is going to be one of the best players in the game, and we might just end up versing Manchester United in an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup final. So why not get ahead of it nice and early and use Kobe Mainu to our advantage? We're going to sign him for £7.9 million from Man United. I fully intend on cleaning this side out though. First man out, Nathaniel Chalobah. He's heading to Southampton. We're also saying goodbye to OK Yukaslu, who's heading back to Turkey, and Alex Mowat, who heads to Luton Town. Pieper is off to Espanyol, and Semi Ajayi is heading to Turkey. I'm prepared to throw some money around this window, lads. We're going to sign a new number 10, a new right winger here, Luciano Rodriguez, joining us from Liverpool, the Uruguayan Liverpool, not the English one. 75 rated. We paid 12.7 mil for him. I wasn't lying when I said I was cleaning things out. Jed Wallace, 4.7 mil to Porto. And on the very same day, we lose our attacking midfielder, John Swift to PSV. So we're going to go in for a starting attacking midfielder. And whilst we search for an attacking midfielder, Adam Reach is also sold. There we go, fellas. Unai Gomez is our new attacking midfielder. This team is looking so much better than last year. This team is looking like it is destined for the 4th round of the FA Cup instead of the 3rd. That is not the end of our transfer business though. Marko Stamenic, the Kiwi defensive midfielder, going to be linking up with Kobe Mainu as we sign him from Nice. Norwich, first round of the Carabao Cup. Here we go, our first game, our first big game of the season, and we lose on penalties. We're eliminated early days from the Carabao Cup for the 2nd straight year. Oh my God. So that's our second transfer window done and dusted. And just like this time last year, all of our attention is going to be on the FA Cup and not getting promoted. But this team genuinely could push for promotion, so I think we might see the tank squad in effect. Oh, we might be flying a bit too close to the sun here, lads. We sit 3rd in the championship on the 1st of January. It's not nuke squad time yet. It's not tank team yet, but we're getting to that territory. Let's see if we can carry that good form over to the FA Cup though. Bristol City's our first opponent. At least they're not a Premier League team. And we are gonna go out again. Why is our left back to Kuiper taking penalties? Oh, look at that! 60% possession, 7 shots to 2. And we go out in the first round of the, well, the 3rd round, but our first game of the FA Cup here in season 2. Oh, we are never going to complete this challenge, are we? All right, well, it's the exact same as last year. Now we just have to spend the second half of the season not getting promoted. Oh, God. We're in the playoffs. All right, bring out the tank team. Luton, I would love for you to get promoted, lads. I would love for you to get a trip to Wembley. First leg away at Kenilworth Road, and we lose 4-0. The tank team in full effect. Finish the job, fellas. Finish the job. 4-0 down after the first leg. We actually win the second leg with the tank team, but we are out in the playoffs. Perfect. And Luton Town end up beating Burnley, and they get promoted to the Prem. Aston Villa won the Carabao Cup, and Arsenal won a North London derby to win the FA Cup. We need to go on a better run. Like, that was a pathetic effort from us this year, though. I mean, our team is growing quite nicely. The wealth is being shared. De Kuyper up to an 81. Luciano Rodriguez up to a 79. Even Josh Meyer doing a lot better than I expected. Big move at the left midfield position to start season number 3 with West Brom. It is the Croatian midfielder Stipe Buick coming across here from LAFC. Get him on a cut price deal of 9.2 mil. Man, we could be getting 51 million pounds here for De Kuyper. I'm not doing that. I'm definitely not doing that, but that is crazy. He's already at that level. I mean, same deal with Luciano Rodriguez. We got an offer for 41 mil for him. I straight up blocked offers though. Someone I have accepted an offer for though, and who is leaving the club, is Cedric Kipre, who's heading to Como. I'm not gonna lie, it's not a bad change for him. He's trading the Midlands of England to Lake Como in Italy. Yeah, that's an upgrade. A lifestyle upgrade. He's not gonna win as many FA Cups though, is he? Standing at 6'9", we've got ourselves, look how tall he is compared to our assistant. We've got ourselves the new centre back. He can barely fit on that exercise bike. But we signed Isaac Toure here as our new centre half. That is actually He's not even fitting in this screen. Oh, that's a piss take. But we pick him up from FC Lorient for £15.3 million. But for me, the final addition I want is a goalkeeper in this summer window. So we're going to sell Alex Palmer. We're going off on a limb here. Alex Palmer heading north to Celtic. And we're also going to sell Carlin Grant so we can get a little more money in to try signing a goalkeeper. That's another £4.9 million. We get our shot stopper. We've done a deal with a Midlands rival in Wolverhampton. I never said this was going to be realistic, but we have beaten Wolves, or taken Wolves goalkeeper, 78 rated Labrovic, a huge addition in between the sticks. All right, fellas, Swansea City, first round of the Carabao Cup. I just want to go on some sort of a run this year. We take it to penalties, but we're through. One win in the Carabao Cup. Now it's time for the second round. We're on the road against Leicester City. Come on, this is for the furthest we've ever gone. Oh, we lose on penalties this time. And once again, it's the FA Cup and not getting promoted. Is this going to become a theme? But this is how the starting 11 is looking, and I feel like I'm going to have to go through at times this season and just absolutely tank results, because this team, I think I'm going to have to do this every year from now on, to be honest, because this team is way too good to be in the championship. And yeah, we need to tank a little harder here. 1st of January, we're sitting in the automatic spots. I sense this is probably going to become a theme moving forward. We've got our first game in the FA Cup this year. I will say it is nice to get drawn up against the Tranmere side. That's no disrespect to them, but they're definitely a lot worse off than some of the teams we've been versing. I hope I haven't jinxed us. I jinxed us. What is going on? Oh my god. We're going out to Tranmere in the first game of the FA Cup this year. Are you kidding me? 61%, double the amount of shots. Oh my, this is doing my head in. Because I think about it, all right, the FA Cup, if we win that, we're at least, what, 3 seasons away from potentially finishing the video. If we win the Carabao, we're 4 seasons. Oh my, we have got a journey ahead of us. How have we, oh my. Bring out the tank squad. Boys, I've stuffed up here. We've fallen into the playoffs. I was just going to simulate the playoffs and show you guys at the end of the season that the tank team did their job. But the tank team have beaten Bristol City across 2 legs and got us to the championship playoff final. Oh dear, we are in trouble. We might be in strife. It's quite funny that games I'm trying to win in the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, we can't win. But then I put the tank team on and we make it to the championship playoff final. And if we end up beating Burnley and get promoted to the Premier League next year, I'm gonna have to sacrifice our season. I'm gonna have to commit the FIFA equivalent of seppuku. Here goes nothing, fellas. The championship playoff final. I honestly, our players are developing too nicely. I might have to nip that in the bud next year, but we lose the playoff final. Only 1-0. All right, I need to make some changes next year because we came too close to the sun this year. But West Ham ended up winning the FA Cup this year on penalties, and Aston Villa win the Carabao Cup. Luciano Rodriguez, I love you. 84 overall. Josh Meyer, no growth. I'm probably going to go in for a new striker and spend the majority of our budget on a new striker next year. Also, Maxim de Kuyper, 14 goals, 7 assists as a left back, up to an 85 overall already. That is what we need to see. My base standard when I'm doing rebuilds and videos like this, once a player hits 85, I think they're worthy of winning a Champions League. So I try to get my entire squad to 85 rated and above. And then I think the game kind of, at least maybe it's me in my own head, but I think the game starts to register you as a serious threat at that point. But Jamie Andrews wanted out of the club, can't get him off, so I'm just going to let his contract walk. But for me next year, these dudes are doing too well. In this tank team, they're growing too nicely. I might have to sell some of them off. First order of business, I'm getting some players for the tank team. Scott Brown, 58 rated Welsh goalkeeper, and Ted Jacobs from Suriname in Africa, I believe that is. And his name is Ted Jacobs. I'm not going to question anything here though. Left midfielder, joining the club as well. But we're going to have a lot of money here to invest into a new star striker. Josh Meyer, he's done an absolute solid for us throughout the first 3 seasons, but here in season 4, we need to turn things up a level. We have not gone on a single cup run. We're selling him to Feyenoord, £18 million. On top of our initial budget, that gives us a war chest for a striker. And you know what, lads? Why not a little more? Mo Fall off to Norwich for £1.5 million. There we go, fellas. We get our striker. It is Carlos Alcaraz making the move across from Al Shabab in the Saudi League. 81 overall, 23 years of age. The Argentine joining us here for £36.9 million. Straight into the Carabao Cup we go though for this season. We've got Northampton at home, 3rd round of the Carabao Cup, and what the actual is going on? 2-0 to Northampton. Oh my, I have done... What is going on? This team would be bordering on European qualification if we were doing a traditional rebuild, but we can't even get past Northampton. Holy crap. Man, Northampton, we lose 2-0 till. I am... And no doubt we're probably going to be top of the championship come the 1st of January, but we can't get past Northampton in the cup. Make it make sense. Yeah, no surprise. We're top of the championship. The tank team's going to come into full effect for the second half of the season. I don't even want to get us into the playoffs this year, although with a 17-point lead, that might be inevitable. But man, the pressure's never been higher for us to go on a FA Cup run. Bristol City, round 3. Bring it on. All right, here we go. Away against Bristol. The Kuiper is 75, man. 75. And we get the win. It's a half an hour of excellence there from Rodriguez and Unai. And we move on to the next round, but we're going to be without Toure for the next round. No easy rides for us, though. We've got Arsenal now. Away at the Emirates. This is a huge test, fellas. Can we pull off an upset? We do! Taylor off the bench, the centre-back in the 88th minute. All right, we might have gotten over our FA Cup yips. This is the deepest we've ever made it, but again, they are throwing everything at us. Round of 16, we've got Manchester United. We couldn't get Peterborough or Gillingham. Need the big dogs to step up here. We're at home, at the Hawthorns, taking on United. We've already taken down Arsenal, but we cannot take down Man United. Manu scores against his former club, but it's only a consolation goal, and we're gonna have to wait another year. Round of 16, though, is a step in the right direction. The tank team has done its purpose. 4th place in the championship, and then I made sure we bottled it against Preston in the playoffs. Spurs end up winning the FA Cup. I'm just so salty. I mean, Cardiff made it that deep. Why couldn't we get a run like Cardiff? Although, to be fair, they beat Man City in the 5th round, so maybe not. And Man United end up winning the Carabao Cup. How did Northampton go? I'm sad, but also glad Northampton didn't go on a run. They lost to Chelsea in the 3rd round. Luciano Rodriguez is an absolute stud. The stats are definitely a little bit altered, and I'm probably not going to show the stats as much anymore because I'm having to implement the tank team so much. I mean, it's probably better off me showing you all of the overalls and stuff, and the overalls are coming along quite nicely. Just got to keep building, man, so we're ready for a cup run, because once we win a cup, which is looking like never at this stage, but once we hopefully do, we're going to have to go balls to the wall if we want to complete this challenge. Coming out early doors this season and getting ourselves a new goalkeeper. Same overall as our current goalkeeper, but 3 or 4 years younger. It's James Trafford, 6'4" Englishman, signing on a cut price deal from Burnley. We may as well have just done a swap deal here because Labrovic is going to Burnley and they've paid only just over what we paid for James Trafford. So it's basically a swap deal. I do want us to bring in a new star centre back here, which is why this is happening right now. One of our first signings, Mohamed Omari, the French centre half, heading to FC Twente, which is going to allow us to get out onto the open market and sign the Brazilian centre back Lucas Beraldo for £40 million from Athletic Bilbao. 23 years of age, 82 overall. This is a solid pickup. But the big question for me is, even with all this money we've spent and all these stars we have, can we get past Gillingham in the Carabao Cup? Here we go. Come on. First game, and it's a win. Oh my God, that is actually such a relief after the Northampton game last year. Rodriguez gets a brace. We come from behind, and we actually get a win in the Carabao Cup. Carabao Cup second round, we are away at St. Mary's, taking on Southampton. Here we go. 4-1. 4-1. Beautiful. I hope that we've finally found our groove. But that is the summer transfer window in the books. Like I said, I want as many players as possible to get to that 85 plus marker. This year, I want Manu, Gomez, maybe even Stamenic to hit that level. But we didn't go long in the Carabao Cup without a big team. The Premier League clubs come into the fold, and now we face Chelsea. Away at Stamford Bridge. Come on, fellas. Minu's up to an 85, which is good to see. And we get the win. Our Croatian midfielder Buke getting the win over Chelsea. Good stuff. Round of 16. This is a stage we got to in the FA Cup last year. We have Man City, though. Taking down Chelsea was massive, but Man City is a different kettle of fish. Away at the Etihad against Man City, we lose lose on penalties. Oh, we have lost on penalties. I'm glad we've finally gone on a run in the Carabao Cup this year, but that hurts. So with the Carabao Cup out of the equation, we put all of our eggs into the FA Cup basket, taking on Swansea, the club that I actually debated doing this experiment with. It was down to Swansea or West Brom for me. West Brom, make me know I did the right choice. We definitely made the right choice. 4-0. Next up, fourth round, Barnsley at the Hawthorns. Can we move on to the next round? Yes, we do. Luciano Rodriguez, I love you. Into the round of 16, we've got Watford. For once, the draw is actually being somewhat kind to us, but we need to take advantage of it. Watford at home, we get it done. Alcaraz with a brace. We're on to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Wickham beat, oh, we might actually be on here because Wickham beat Man City. Charlton won. United, Fulham, Leeds, Wolves, and Leicester. All right, as long as we don't get Man United, we could be in a great position. Quarterfinals, we've got Wolverhampton. I'm hoping Leeds can do us a solid, but we need to focus on getting the win in this Midlands derby. This is the furthest we've made it in any competition so far in this challenge. It's taken us 5 years. Can we get to a semi-final for the first time? Yes, we can. Alcaraz and Unai, we're into the semi-final. And Man United and Leeds are off to a replay. Oh, Leeds won on penalty. Never mind. Fulham, Leeds, West Brom, Charlton. We have to be one of the strongest. FA Cup semi-final. We face Leeds United whilst Charlton Athletic play Fulham. Our first trip to Wembley Stadium for this entire video. FA Cup semi-final. A spot in the final on the line. The draw has been so good to us. Can we take full advantage of that? Yes, we can. Who else but Luciano Rodriguez? We're heading to an FA Cup final where we'll meet either Charlton Athletic or Fulham. And it's been decided we're versing my favorite club in Fulham. They beat Charlton Athletic 3-2 in the semi-final, but we need to get past them if we want to get ourselves qualification to the Europa League and move on to the next step of this challenge. A spot in Europe on the line. Wembley Stadium, Fulham FC. The scoreline is a penalty shootout win. Buick, oh my God, in the 89th minute. I've never been so excited to see Fulham lose. Oh my God, we have won the FA Cup on a penalty shootout. It has taken significantly stronger than I expected, but we've won an FA Cup, and next year we're going directly to the Europa League. Another year where we have forcefully had ourselves eliminated in the playoff semi-finals. And in the Carabao, damn, that's a rough year for Fulham. Fulham, you lose the Carabao Cup final as well. De Kuiper up to an 89 now. Luciano Rodriguez up to an 88. Our team is looking primed for us. We have to win the Europa League next year. Otherwise, we're back to square one. We're in the Europa League. We need to go all out to get ourselves a Europa League title. So we're playing Champions League next year. He was one of the heroes for us last year, but he was lagging behind. We need a superstar at the left midfield role. So Stipe, I'm sorry, mate, but you're off for just shy of 40 mil. And we're also getting rid of one of the older players. It's only a couple of mil added to the biggie bank, but it's Brandon Thomas Asante heading to Belgium for 2.8 mil. Absolutely huge. We get one of the great wonder kids in career mode this year, Antonio Nusa, the left midfielder, the Norwegian left midfielder, joining us here from AS Monaco. It's a club record £57 million, but he is undoubtedly going to be insane for us. 23 years of age, 84 overall, so much room to grow. I'm gassed about this one. And we go from a club record transfer to our lowest rated signing, Farouk Abdullah. He's going to be joining the bench squad, the tank team. Fellows, the guy that's playing right mid right now is growing too well, so we're going to drop that right midfield position down by 20 plus 20 overall. And for the first time in this video, I'm going to sign somebody that's going to be a backup for the starting 11. He's not going to come anywhere close to the starting 11 in the tank team, but he's going to be a good backup. Daniel Maldini joining us from Fulham for 14.5 mil. Whilst we have qualified for the Europa League this year, we need to make sure we win a trophy domestically this year so that we can get right back into European football next year if we don't win the Europa League. Carabao Cup. It would be nice to go deep there because we've been terrible so far. The Carabao Cup, man. Why does this always happen we lose to Bradford City? Oh my God. This is our squad, and that now means our priorities for for this year. Carabao Cup out the window. Priority number 1, win the Europa League. Priority number 2, win the FA Cup. We win one of those trophies and we're in a decent position next year. But speaking of the Europa League, here is our group. This is a group I expect us to get out of. Of course, we are in the championship, but on paper, our starting 11, it is mean. It is so good, man. Group F for the Champions League. Starter in A, FC Basel, Helsinki. Let's see how championship side West Brom can go. Also, this just looks so funny. EFL Championship, like we're versing QPR on the Saturday, and then we have European football on the Thursday. There you go, lads. There you go. We are out of the group. We're going to skip the prelims, top it, and we're going to go straight into the round of 16 of the Europa League. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. But whilst we wait for those to come up in February, we're trying to defend our FA Cup crown. Burnley, 3rd round. We can't get too carried away with the Europa League. We need to make sure we are ticking off the FA Cup every single year from here on in now. Burnley away, and we move on. Daryl Dike and Carlos Alcaraz. We are going to move on to the next round of the Cup. And I'm hoping by the time we get to the Europa League knockout rounds that we're still alive in the FA Cup. Cambridge away, FA Cup. Come on, another win, another win, another win. Oh, it's a lot closer than I hope, but we get another win here in the FA Cup. We've lost to West Ham before in this video. They've won their fair share of trophies. West Ham at home, FA Cup. We get another win. Noosa gets a brace. I also noticed the Kuiper's up to a 91 now. He's bringing our overall as a squad up so high. But we're going to move into the quarterfinals for the 2nd straight year. Brighton, I'm praying, can do a job against Man City. Europa League round of 16 is up here though, lads. We've got Wolfsburg in the round of 16. A 2-legged affair. We're away in Wolfsburg for the first leg. Traveling to Germany, traveling outside of England for the first time today. They've got João Felix and Diogo Jota, but Alcaraz gives us a tie game heading back to the Hawthorns. This is 3 days before our FA Cup quarterfinal. All tied up here. The fixture congestion's gonna go insane, but here we go. 2nd leg, and we go out. Alcaraz gets a red card. I'm praying that is not him suspended for the FA Cup as well. We go out in the Europa League, and that makes it paramount now that we put on a show and go back to back in the FA Cup. Otherwise, we start from scratch once again. I mean, we're basically back to scratch right now. It's 3 days later. Alcaraz not suspended. The lads are tired though. We need to get back on the horse though. We've got the quarterfinals against Crystal Palace, FA Cup, and we win it. Rodriguez. I love you, mate. Rodriguez, Lucho Rodriguez sends us to our 2nd FA Cup semi-final in as many years. There's no Charltons or Fulhams hanging around this year. It is only big teams. We've got Chelsea in the semi-final, a Manchester derby in the other one. Can we get back to the FA Cup final? Off to Wembley we go. Currently undefeated at Wembley Stadium. Chelsea semi-finals, and we get back to the FA Cup final again. Lucho Rodriguez is a channel hero at this point. Holy in the playoffs with the Skeleton Crew, the tank team, we came back from 3-1 down to win the 2nd leg 4-1 with the, oh my god, we're off to the playoff final. How have we done that? I mean, the FA Cup's going to be against Manchester United, but we've got to make sure we don't get promoted, otherwise this is all over. But we're going to be taking on Sheffield United. That's 4 days after the FA Cup final, so we will focus on that first. We need to get ourselves back-to-back FA Cup titles here. Last year it was Fulham, this year Manchester United. To get back to the Europa League for the 2nd straight year, we do it. 3-1. Noosa, De Kuiper, and Rodriguez. Oh, I love these guys. Come on, lads. We win another FA Cup with West Brom. It's a sight we will never get sick of, but now we have to make sure we don't get promoted. Once again, we're off to Wembley. It's basically a 2nd home ground for us, but I'm hoping we can have our first loss at Wembley Stadium. Actually, no, we lost one of the playoff finals before, didn't we? Let's hope we can get our 2nd loss at Wembley Stadium. Come on, lads. Come on, lads. Good. Perfect. Cleary gets a goal, but it is 3-1 Sheffield United. We stay in the championship. And for next year, we're back in the Europa League. We also were in the Community Shield at the start of this year, but we lost that to Arsenal. Thankfully, that doesn't get you any qualification. And Man United, we stopped them from winning both domestic trophies. I was hoping Wolfsburg won the Europa League, but they went out in the quarterfinals. I just couldn't say no to this type of money, fellas. Unai Gomez is no longer a West Brom player. £100 million. I was debating getting just a world-class attacking midfielder. Gomez is in the world-class range, but I'm talking about like one of the best players on planet Earth. £100 million plus the money we get from being in Europe to begin with is definitely going to help with that. There it is. It's a no-brainer. Arda Güler, insane. Insane. We're in the championship with a team like we have, signing 88 rated Arda Güler. He links back up with his former Real Madrid boss Carlo Ancelotti. But my God, fellas, that is absolutely unbelievable. The Europa League is something we need to win this year, and signing Arda Güler is going to go so far towards achieving that. And we still have some money left over. I do plan on investing in a backup goalkeeper, but Arda Güler joins us from Leipzig for 115 mil. New backup goalkeeper has been secured. Everybody say hello to Carl Rushworth, who's dropping down a division to play Champions League football hopefully soon. Carl Rushworth is joining us from Brighton. We've gone back to back in the FA Cup, but we have done absolutely nothing in the Carabao Cup. We start our journey this year against Swindon, expecting absolutely nothing, and Stamenic, the Kiwi, is going to book our spot into the next round. But again, it is never comfortable in this tournament. Doncaster up next in the Carabao Cup, 28th of August, 2029, and we move on again. Maybe a cup run is on the cards here in the Carabao. But as we get ready for this season, this is how the starting 11 looks. We have to, surely, we have to go further in the Europa League. Round of 16 was good to get our feet in the water, but you just don't know when your next opportunity is going to be in Europe, especially in a video like this. So we need to go all out and make sure we win it this year. And I mean, the group wasn't a problem last year, nor do I expect it to be a problem this year. Genk, Lech Poznan, Athens. Some intimidating opponents, but still a group that I think we should be getting out of. Doncaster and Swindon were just a warm-up though. We're into the third round of the Carabao Cup. We've got Liverpool away at Anfield, and we beat them. Yeah, we are the real deal nowadays, lads. The real deal. We cannot get intimidated by these big English clubs. We have what it takes. We took out the red side of Merseyside. Now we have Everton. Round of 16 at home to get into the Carabao Cup quarters. We get through on penalties. Daryl Dyke, the American, is going to send us through to the Carabao Cup quarters. I want the Carabao Cup. I want the FA Cup. And most importantly, I want the Europa League this year. But I don't want the championship. You can keep the championship. Carabao Cup quarters, we've been given the best possible draw. Sheffield United. At home once again here. Against Sheffield United. This is the furthest we've gone in the Carabao. Can we get to the semi-final? Yes, we do. Kobe Mainu, another goal. Carabao Cup semi-final bound. We went even better in the Europa League than last year though. Not a single point dropped. 6 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses, only 6 goals conceded, and we're going to get right back to the Europa League round of 16, but we need to go better than last year, man. Wolfsburg had our number. We need to go further. January is a brutal month, man. We've got a lot of championship games, which I am tanking, but we've also got the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup semis. Our first FA Cup game, looking to make it 3 FA Cups in a row. We face West Ham and we move on. Lucho Rodriguez scores in the 76th. Just 3 days later, it is the Carabao Cup semi-finals. This is a 2-legged affair. We're versus Arsenal. First leg is at home. We are at the Hawthorns here. Need to lay a good foundation against Arsenal, which we do. We take the advantage as we head to North London. We hold the advantage. We are the away team, but a draw or a win gets us to a Carabao Cup final where we'll face one of the Manchester clubs. Do we hold on here? Yes, we do. Güler misses a pen, but it doesn't matter. We win 4-1 on aggregate, and for the first time today, we're heading to a Carabao Cup final. Mate, we have had no time to rest here. 4 days after the Carabao Cup game, we have Chelsea in the FA Cup. Chelsea in the 4th round is a brutal draw, but we are the champions for a reason. We move on. 2-0 over Chelsea. Noosa is going to be suspended, though, for the next FA Cup game. Here it is, fellas. The Carabao Cup final. We're versing Manchester City. A win here would guarantee us at least Conference League next season, which is a start. It's an opportunity. Can we take down Man City here? Carabao Cup final. We win it on penalties. It's that man again, Daryl Dyke, who scores the winning penalty. Rodriguez in the 91st. Foden sends it to pens. But we are going to add our first Carabao Cup to the trophy cabinet. It's the least beneficial trophy to win out of the lot that we're competing for, but I don't care. We're going to be playing some style of European football next year, whether it's the Champions League, the Europa League, or the Conference League. We're going to be there. But if we could win the FA Cup and guarantee Europa League at the bare minimum, that would be much preferred. We've got Bolton. We faced our two tough teams. Now it's back to Bolton. Fogden in the stands, and we move on to the 6th round, which I think is the quarterfinals or even the semi-finals. We take down Bolton. Yeah, that was the round of 16, so we're on to the quarterfinals. This is the big one, though. This is the one we need to win the most. We will never push on and finish this video until we win the Europa League. We haven't been given a good draw, and we've got some absolute juggernauts still around. Liverpool still around. Juventus still around, and most terrifyingly, Real Madrid still around. But we've got Leipzig here in the round of 16. They make me nervous, man. They make me nervous. We lost to a German side last year. I don't want that to happen again this year. 2-1 in the first leg. I love you, Luciano. We hold the advantage right now, fellas. Champions League round of 16. 2-1 up at home against Leipzig. Scoreline 1-1. That's fine by me. No injuries, no suspensions. We're into the Europa League quarterfinals. But here we are in the FA Cup quarterfinals. We've got Man City. They're going to be looking for revenge after the Carabao. Here we go. 24th of March, 2030. We're at home to get back to our 3rd consecutive semi-final, which we are not able to do. We are eliminated from the FA Cup. Rodriguez scores, but Man City win 3-1. So that means if we don't win the Europa League, then we're going to be playing Conference League next year. It's either Conference League or Champions League. No shot of Europa League next year. Champions League quarterfinals. Liverpool, Real Madrid, Juventus, all still around, but we've been drawn against Sporting. We've been absolutely flying this season, but losing that FA Cup quarterfinal has put a little bit of nervousness into my system. It puts so many more stakes onto winning the Europa League first leg at home, and we take a 2-1 lead back to Portugal. We just need to do exactly what we did against Leipzig. 2-1 lead, hold on. No injuries, no suspensions, and a scoreless draw would be right up my alley. 2-1 again, I'll take it. I'll take it. We're into the Europa League semi-final, and I'm hoping we don't face one of the big 3 teams. I don't care, I'm shameless. Look, would I rather Liverpool and Real Madrid not being on the other side of the draw? Absolutely. But we have missed them in the semi-final. Real Betis is still a massive, massive challenge, but it's not Liverpool or Real Madrid. Another 2-1 first leg would be fine by me. 2-1 to us. Hell, if we want to get a little bit wild and even try making it 2-0, that would be fine by me. Here we go. First leg on the road in Spain, and it's a 3-2 win. Rodriguez brace. Alcaraz gets a goal. We take a 1-goal lead back to the Hawthorns with a Europa League final appearance on the line. And Liverpool won their first leg 3-0. So here we go. This is big, man. We're at the Hawthorns, a spot on the line, Europa League final on the line, 3-2 up, and we get it done with no injuries, no suspensions. We're heading to a Europa League final where it looks like we're facing Liverpool. Oh, Real Madrid almost brought it back there, but Liverpool win 3-4 on aggregate. This is about to be the biggest moment of the video so far. A win will put us into the Champions League next year and potentially 1 year away from completing Mission Impossible. A loss here, however, will relegate us to the Conference League and delay our progress by at least 3 years. At least 3 years. We'll have to rip out the side and rebuild. Liverpool versus West Brom, the Europa League final. Here we go, fellas. In Turin, at the Juventus Stadium in northern Italy, West Brom versus Liverpool. The Europa League final goes to West Brom, and it's Maldini. It is Maldini off the bench getting us a Europa League title. I do not believe it. We're in the Champions League next year, lads. We are in the Champions League. When I signed Daniel Maldini a few years ago, I did not expect him to be the man to secure us a spot in the Champions League, but I'm not complaining about it. Super sub Maldini. You love to see it. Daniel Maldini, I love you. Death taxes, and me making sure we lose the playoff semis. Manchester United ended up beating Burnley to win the FA Cup. They beat City 4-1, my God. But we lost another Community Shield this year. I don't care. We're heading to the Champions League. So I want to build out the bench this year, lads. The starting 11, I'm willing to give the guys that got us to this point an opportunity. It's probably the last dance for people like Nico Williams that are into their late 20s, early 30s, but I want to give them a crack. I'm going to build out the bench here. A backup centre back in Bashir Humphreys, a backup left midfielder and attacking midfielder in Kasper Kozlowski, and a backup left back in Rafael Obrador. All three of these lads joining the club for their respective transfer fees. And we start with another Carabao Cup here. We've got Blackburn away. Can we go back to back in the Carabao Cup? We're on the track. Stamanic and Ardagula, that's another win in the Carabao Cup. It was such a weird feeling, man. We went from the Europa League final, where it was the most intense game ever, to bring ourselves back down, calm down, and verse Blackburn. Now, though, we verse another Premier League club. It is Newcastle United. We're at home here, and we get through on penalties. Maldini has been a hero for us. But with the new additions to our reserves, here is how this West Brom side sits. The fact that we are still in the championship is wild to me. So many players in the 90s are going to hit the 90s this year. De Kuyper at 93 overall is just ridiculous to me. But we are in the Champions League for the first time in this insane challenge in Mission Impossible. And the team, I'm sure, that sticks out to me and all of you is Barcelona. Barcelona second here in Group E. We are with them second. I can't talk, that's how deluded I am. But we've got Barcelona, Shakhtar Donetsk, and AIK. AIK, I think I said IAK. I need us to win it this year. I'm going crazy. And if we don't win it this year, I'm going to sleep and finishing it off tomorrow. Third round of the Carabao Cup, Sheffield Wednesday. Toure is a little knackered as we get into this one, but I'm hoping he can at least get half a game in here. Oh my God, we went to penalties with Sheffield Wednesday, but it is another win. Man, that's terrifying that we went to penalties with them, but we move on again, and our back-to-back Carabao Cup quest is still alive. Carabao Cup round of 16, we've taken down one side of the Tyne-Wear derby. Now we're facing Sunderland for a spot in the quarters. We are heading back to the quarters. We're looking good, lads. This season is flying by so far. Quarterfinals, Carabao Cup, we've got Brentford. Heading to West London, the G-Tech Community Stadium. We've got Brentford away, and we win another game on penalties. A scoreless draw. We are the penalty shootout specialists, it feels like. We're heading to the Carabao Cup semis. And we're also heading to the Champions League semis. What a performance. We did even better than last year's Europa League group stages. Not a single loss and only 3 goals conceded. To do that in a group where we have Barcelona, I'm blown away. Genuinely blown away. Round of 16 there, and we've got Lens. That is a good draw, man. Oh, man, we need to do it this year. We need to do it. I want every trophy known to man. We're in the FA Cup again. We've already taken Newcastle United out in the Carabao. Can we dump them out of a second competition? Yes, we can, but Ardagula picks up a knock. I'm hoping it's nothing too serious. Alcaraz gets the goal that kicks out Newcastle. A pulled groin there for Ardagula. He's going to be out of the Carabao Cup semis. Gula out, Maldini in. This was just a few days after the Newcastle game, so Alcaraz, Nusa, and especially Beraldo are quite knackered for this. We're at home for the first leg, and we still managed to get the lead. Maldini is so clutch, man. We take a 2-1 lead to Anfield. If we hold on here, we get an opportunity to win a second Carabao Cup. Away at Anfield, but with the lead to our name. Maldini's still starting, and we double up. Alcaraz with a brace. We're heading back to the Carabao Cup final in February. FA Cup, 4th round, away at Swindon. We've versed them in the past. Swindon, we get the win. Perfect. Man, I'm more nervous playing the likes of Swindon and Northampton than I am and Manchester United. But this is the big one, lads. I would sacrifice not winning the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup this year if it means we could win the Champions League. First leg, away in Lens, taking on RC Lens, and we get a 4-1 win. Oh my God, that is an incredible start. But we're going to follow that up 4 days later with a trip to Wembley. We verse Chelsea in the Carabao Cup final to secure us at least Conference League football for next year. Can we get ourselves our second Carabao? Yes, we do, and we do it with ease. Get in there. Chelsea have been destroyed, and we have won another Carabao Cup. I want the treble this year. I want the treble. And now 4 days after that Carabao Cup final, we have the round of 16 win in the FA Cup away to Sheffield Wednesday. Come on, lads. Come on, lads. We're into the quarters there as well. This is going to plan. Now we just need to make sure we get ourselves into the quarters of the Champions League. 4-1 up. No injuries, no suspensions, and most importantly, no bottling of it, please. The scoreline 2-1, Williams with a yellow and Toure with a yellow. I'm hoping that doesn't cost us, but we are through to the Champions League quarters. But it looks like we're good. No suspensions out of that one. My head is genuinely on a swivel from how many games we've had. Quarterfinals of the FA Cup away at Vicarage Road against Watford, and we get to the semi-finals once again. Right now, we're feeling automatic, but we cannot be cocky. The biggest challenge of the season, Atletico Madrid, Champions League quarters. Out of the final 8 teams, there is no easy opponents. First leg at home, another 4-1 win would be exactly what the doctor ordered, but I'm not getting carried away. Atletico Madrid, a different kettle of fish, but we still take the lead. 3-2. It's not a huge lead, but I will take that every day of the week. 7 days later, we grab our passports and head to Madrid. This championship level side versus one of the best teams in Spanish and European football for a spot in the semi-finals. We get there in extra time. Oh my God. Alcaraz rescues us, and then who else but Maldini in the 94th minute to book our spot in the semi-finals. Holy West Brom. Now catch your breath here, lads. We've got Burnley semi-finals, FA Cup at Wembley 3 days after that Atletico Madrid game. This though, for a spot in the FA Cup final, to keep the treble dream alive and to keep our potential Europa League hopes, Europa League insurance as well alive. Semi-finals, 2-0. We're heading to the final. Gula, Stamenic, come on, come on, come on. And it looks like we're versing Aston Villa. Oh my God. I don't know whether I should be happy or worried for this. I mean, we beat Barcelona both times we versed them in the group stages. We've drawn with them here in the semis. When we were looking at the quarterfinals before, I almost jokingly said that I would rather get Barcelona because we know how to beat them. But now that we have them, I don't know how to feel. This is tough. We've just got to do what we did against them in the group stages. Get a result here. First leg at the Hawthorns. Take it back to Barca. Take it back. Taking it back. Lucho Rodriguez. Holy hell. All right, 2-1 up. 2-1 up. Lucho Rodriguez, I need you to step up again. Away in Barcelona for a spot in a Champions League final with West Brom. We get there. Alcaraz, Rodriguez, the lads I told to step up do just that. We take down Barcelona and we're heading to a Champions League final against either Man United or Inter Milan. And it looks like, just like last year's Europa League final, it's going to be an all-English Champions League final. But before that, we have an incredibly huge game, an opportunity for our third FA Cup and Europa League qualification next year at Wembley against Aston Villa. This team is ridiculous, man. Can we win another FA Cup? Come on. Yes, we do. Lucho, Stamenic, we win our third FA Cup with West Bromwich Albion. Oh my God. And now all that is left to do is take down Manchester United and win the Champions League. Rotherham away on a Wednesday, and on the Saturday, the Champions League final. This is the defining moment of this video. Holy I called it. Kobe Mainoo's playing in this game. Do you guys remember when I signed him and I said I wanted to weaken Manchester United in case we versed them in an FA Cup final? I've signed Kobe Mainoo and weakened them, so we versed them in a Champions League final. Please, please, come on! Let's go! Arda Güler, Alcaraz, the first minute, the 88th, we get a red card, but we don't care because we have just won West Bromwich Albion a Champions League title while still remaining in the championship. I'm not gonna lie, lads, this is one of my favorite videos I think I've ever made in channel history. If you guys feel a fraction of the same way, please leave a like on the video. Click here to subscribe if you aren't already subscribed, and click here to watch another video. Holy hell.